Okay, we're going to be setting up VLANs in Mikrotik's RouterOS. The RouterOS is the same for the routers and the switches. I know they've got SwitchOS, but you lose a lot of the layer 3 capabilities by enabling SwitchOS rather than RouterOS. I'm doing this on a Mikrotik Hex Lite, I believe, which is their cheapest router. I think it's like 25 quid. But anyway, let's just jump into it and we'll just get this set up here. So I've just reset this router to default. Yeah, all this looks fine. So just apply configuration and then log out, and we'll just log in. Always set a password. So we go up to webfig up here, and then we've got a couple of areas we need to make some changes. On this smaller router, we need to enable VLANs on the bridge. Some of the big ones you won't have to, but if you come into the bridge settings, there's settings up here, but this isn't what you want. If you click the actual bridge and scroll down, you've got something called VLAN filtering down here. So we need to make sure that that's enabled. PVRD1 and admit all is correct, so we'll apply that. So we've now enabled VLANs on the bridge. Let's just check that it took. VLAN filtering, apply. Let that turn on. Okay, we're running, so we can okay that again, so that's good. So first thing we want to do is we want to add our new VLAN interface. So let's just call this dummy VLAN. You give it a VLAN ID, so let's give this 50. Make sure it's assigned to the bridge. So we've got a new dummy VLAN here, all set up. And then if we come down to the bridge, we need to add it as a port as well. So we go add new, so interface dummy VLAN, add it to the bridge. It's VLAN 50, and we want to admit only VLAN tag traffic. So apply that. So now, you can give it a name as well, just to, it's always best to give things a description, so you can find it again in the GUI or CLI, or if it's not you coming back to look at it. So here we have our dummy VLAN, reset back up. Next we need to go into VLANs, and we need to add our new VLAN, so we can tag ports and untag ports. So if we do new, it's adding to the bridge. The VLAN ID is 50. We'll tag the bridge with it, dummy VLAN, and we can do Ether1, which is what I'm currently plugged into. But we can untag Ether3. So you would do this on the switch as well if you're doing, but I'm just doing this as like a router on stick setup. So here we've got a bridge, dummy VLAN. There's nothing currently untagged as we're not currently plugged into it, but that will change once we plug into it. And the only other thing we want to do is come back into ports. We want to go to Ethernet 3 here. And then down here, we want to do VLAN 50, admit only to untagged and priority tags, apply, okay. So what we're saying there is we want Ethernet 3 to accept only untagged traffic, and obviously we've untagged C, and now untagged Ether3 has appeared here. Let's set up an address for this to use. So if we do 192.168.50.1/24, give it the network, or 192.168.50.0. This is for the interface of dummy VLAN, DV, apply. Okay, so we've got our interface, our gateway interface for that dummy VLAN. We can set up a server for it now, so it knows that you want to do dummy VLAN. Next, it knows the DHCP address space, it knows the gateway. Here you can set your range, I'm just going to leave it default. And here is where you can set your name servers. So that's done, leave the lease time. Obviously you can change the lease times whatever you want. So now we've got DHCP1, dummy VLAN set up. So that is all you need to get this configured and working. So what I'll do now is If we come up here and we do IP address, so you can't really see that I'm 88.13 plugged into the port 1. So what I'll do is I'll quickly pop over, change it from port 1 to port 3, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so that port's been moved across from Ethernet 1 over to Ethernet 3, which means now if we load this up, we should end up with let's clear terminal quickly. Right. So we should end up with IP address, and we see we're 192.168.50.254. Cool, and we should be able to ping 192.168.50.1. Perfect. So that's setting up VLANs on a Mikrotik RouterOS device. Obviously, once you've set that up, you can then obviously apply firewall rules to it and do whatever else you want to do with it, routing, anything you want. Peace.